Dallas Mavericks Today is presented by Magic Spoon. If you want healthy protein-packed cereal, Magic Spoon is the answer for you. Cocoa flavor is a big recommendation by yours truly, but they have tons of others. Go check them out, magicspoon.com/chat. You can get $5 off your first order with Magic Spoon. Dallas Mavericks Today, let's jump into this video. Tim Hardaway, could he be heading to the Miami Heat in free agency? Well, there's a loose report I'll put out there that Hardaway is at least intrigued by the idea of playing in Miami next season. Why would he be intrigued? A, they're a team looking to contend. B, he spent some time in Miami growing up when his dad played for the Heat when Tim Hardaway Jr. was in high school. Tim Hardaway Sr., of course, bounced around the NBA, including some years with Miami. Also should mention there are reports that THJ and the Mavs have mutual interest in signing a new contract in Dallas, but didn't want to hit on this potential move to Miami rumor that's been thrown out there. Greg Sylvander, top NBA reporter for 5 Reasons Sports Network, had this one. As the beginning of free agency gets closer and closer, I can report that Tim Hardaway Jr. is intrigued by the idea of landing in Miami and would love to join the Heat, a league source tells 5 Reasons. However, the timing of free agency and contract details are perceived as likely challenges by Hardaway and his camp. We'll explore this a little bit more, but first, should the Mavs re-sign Tim Hardaway Jr.? Type R for re-sign, type L for let him walk in free agency. Get your votes in right now. What should the Mavs do with Tim Hardaway? If I'm in charge, I'm probably bringing back Tim Hardaway Jr. for a few reasons. Number one, coming off a career year. I thought he played really, really well this year, stepped up in the playoffs and played as a sidekick with Luka Doncic against the Los Angeles Clippers. So I thought he really played well. Now, I don't think he's a number 2. I think he can be a good number 3, though. Number 2 reason why I would bring him back is, listen, we've gone down this road before, right? Of, Tim Hardaway's good, but let's save some money, go after a bigger fish, and then you don't get anybody. Should the Mavs explore bigger guys? Sure, but you can't waste a week into free agency and lose out on Tim Hardaway Jr. More on this story in a second, but first, subscribe to Dallas Mavericks Today. We are closing in on 14,000 subscribers. We are on fire. Let's keep the momentum going. Currently at 13,717 subs. I'll keep banging out videos for you guys if you guys keep subscribing. So appreciate everybody who already has. If you haven't, hit that big red button and subscribe today to Dallas Mavericks Today. I mentioned THJ coming off a career year, but really since he's joined the Mavs as part of that trade, we call it the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade now, not the Porzingis trade. 16 points, 3 boards, field goal percentage has been pretty solid, 3-point percentage. He's become a sniper from 3-point range. This year specifically played well in the playoffs, but overall he's been solid as well, over 17 points, good 3-point shooter once again. Field goal percentage, you'd like that to be a little bit higher, but as a guy who can be a number 3, can be a 6th man if you want him to. He's got a lot of value, and he's going to make some money. So the Mavs do have to make a decision on THJ, and if they don't re-sign him, teams like the Heat will. Like, there's going to be suitors for Tim Hardaway Jr., a guy who is still young, is productive, and you could argue is still improving as a player in the NBA. So I would re-sign him barring, some development that you feel like you're going to get a true superstar with Luka that's actually legitimate. Not like, let's save some money and swing and miss on Dwight Howard 8 years ago. Like, unless there's a clear door into getting a superstar next to Luka, I would probably just end up re-signing Tim Hardaway. Today's show is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Guys, one of our newest sponsor here at Chat Sports. And hey, you can get $5 off at magicspoon.com/chat. What is Magic Spoon, you might be asking? Well, it's healthy, delicious, childlike cereal for grown-ups. What does that mean? High in protein, 13 grams per serving, 4 grams of net carbs. That's pretty healthy for you as well. And 0 grams of sugar. That is absolutely fantastic. The benefits of this cereal from a health standpoint is actually very good. I've been working out every morning, and this is a perfect way to start my day before I hit the gym. Low carbs, high protein, and Guys, it's sweet and delicious. It tastes like the cereal you guys have been eating since you were a kid, but this stuff's not going to cause you to gain weight. Go to magicspoon.com/chat. Get a box, get 4 boxes, try some different flavors that are available at your disposal for $5 off. That link right there below, magicspoon.com/chat, or the link we have in the comments and in the description, that's going to get you that $5 off deal. Take advantage, eat delicious cereal, and you're not going to gain weight while doing so with Magic Spoon. Oh boy, let's talk Kawhi Leonard now. Could he get to Dallas? Could that be a possibility? Well, there's rumors going around, and yes, Skip Bayless is the root of this rumor, so take it for what it's worth, that Kawhi is not necessarily happy with how the Clippers medical staff has handled his most recent knee injury. He, of course, has not played in several games now since Game 4 of the Western Conference semis against the Utah Jazz, as the Clippers still fight their way in the Western Conference Finals. We'll see if they can rally to the NBA Finals. There's been reports for a while that the plan is for Kawhi to opt out and then likely re-sign with the Clippers, but as we saw with the Spurs when he wasn't happy with how they handled one of his injuries in the past, could Kawhi reconsider opt-out, and maybe could a team like Dallas make some sense for Kawhi Leonard? Here's what Skip had to say on Undisputed, and I do want to mention before I get into the quote, Skip does have some sources. He's as much of a hot take machine he is. He actually has had conversations with Kawhi Leonard, with Kawhi Leonard's uncle, who kind of runs the show on Kawhi's PR team. Quote, I have been told by a very good source that the first issue became Kawhi was unhappy with the Clippers medical staff because he felt that they early on misdiagnosed and underplayed the extent of this knee injury. He also said, I was told, as I told you from day one, when this happened, he's gone. He's going to need some type of surgery. I'm not sure what the extent of it is, but he's going to need surgery, so he's out for the rest of the playoffs. Should mention, when Skip says he's gone, he means gone for the rest of this season. He doesn't mean leaving the Clippers necessarily, but if Kawhi opts out and teams, maybe get some meetings, should the Mavs gamble and say, hey, we're willing to lose Tim Hardaway just for a small chance at Kawhi? Should they try and target him? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Obviously, it would be risky, but if you get Kawhi, that's intriguing. Y for yes, N for no. Answer the pinned comment on today's video. If you get hit with the ad break, just scroll on down and get your votes in right there. If you manage to get Kawhi Leonard, and let me just mention this too, I'm giving this like a 3% chance. Like, it's not very high at all. But with Kawhi's skill set is basically exactly what Luka needs next to him. A physical defender that's also very good offensively. Like, this would be the best duo in the NBA, in my opinion. A just dynamic big point guard that can score, shoot, and dish in Luka Doncic, and Kawhi Leonard, who can also ISO, can dish, and can really defend. What duo is better in the NBA? I will take this duo over an aging LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like, I think it would be that good. Obviously, you look at the career stats. They don't jump off the page, but the last 5-6 years, he's been one of the premier players in the NBA, and his stats always jump in the playoffs because they load manage him throughout the regular season. Kawhi Leonard is an absolute killer. As you guys know, the last couple of years in the playoffs, he has just absolutely taken over when it's mattered the most against the Mavericks. I don't think there's a great chance here. I don't know if there's any chance, but if he's unhappy with the Clippers medical staff, we've seen this before dating back to San Antonio. It's at least something worth monitoring if you are a Mavericks fan. Now, if you could pick any current player, Kawhi, KD, LeBron, whoever, realistic or not, who would you pick to pair with Luka Doncic? Let us know down in the comments. Any current player at your disposal, who are you picking to pair with the Mavs superstar? Let's talk Luka Doncic here on Dallas Mavericks Today. Is he not an enticing star to play with? Well, Brian Windhorst, NBA insider for ESPN, hopped on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, Sean and RJ morning drive show there. Talked about a variety of topics and basically suggested that players aren't going to want to play with Luka, or at least not nearly as much as we think, us as, fans, media, whatever the case may be. Obviously, the Mavs' top priority is getting pieces around Luka Doncic. So I'm going to read the quote, then I'm going to react because I have a lot of opinions on this. So let's just get the quote out of the way first. Here's what Wendy had to say on Sean and RJ. Quote, "I don't know how many people are going to be excited to play with Luka. I think Luka is maybe a difficult person. He's a great player, but when you watch the Mavs play, he's barking at the coach. He's barking at his teammates. He's barking at the officials. He's always barking about something. He can really be an irritable guy. I do think that Luka isn't a guy, let's just say, it's not going to be or not going to play alongside LeBron or Kevin Durant, guys who you can tell really form good bonds with their teammates. I think he's going to be a challenging guy to play with sometimes, but if you win, that's going to be the only thing that matters." How many maybes I thinks were in this quote? This is pure garbage speculation from Brian Windhorst. I think he's a difficult person. He barks at the coach. He's a superstar. That's what they do. Have you watched Tom Brady play before? Have you seen LeBron? Have you never seen a star player yell at a teammate or a coach? This is a joke of a quote. This is not reporting. This is not a report. This is just, hey, Luka gets upset on the sidelines sometimes. I don't know if players across the league want to play with the guy who can pass better than anyone in the sport. This is ridiculous. You know who was hard to play with that was actually reported, and there's a 10-part documentary on ESPN about it? Michael Jordan. He was a difficult teammate to play with. And guess what? It was worth it because the guy won you championships, 6 with the Chicago Bulls, and that was actually reported as a guy who was tough to play with. There's no reporting of Luka being a tough teammate outside of the him and KP don't get along. I think that's more of KP's ego saying, I want to be the co-star or the guy, and that's just not the case because Luka's clearly a better player. I think this is crap from Windhorst. I don't agree with this whatsoever. Now, if he was reporting this and had multiple teammates or players across the league on record saying that, hey, as great as Luka is, I don't think he's a guy that I would get along with, okay, that's different. But it's a lot of, I thinks, maybe he's difficult. Like, I just don't like this take from Windhorst. And this is kind of the problem with media today is Brian Windhorst is actually a good reporter. What does that mean? He gets scoops. He actually breaks some news. But he's not a good, hey, give me a strong opinion on someone guy. Like, that's why they have shows like First Take and First Things First and Skip and Shan and all this stuff. So guys that are entertaining can just throw ridiculous takes out there and entertain the audience. That's not what Brian Windhorst should be doing, and I feel like that's what he did here when he hopped on Sean and RJ and said, oh, you know, I think Luka might be a difficult teammate. Like, I just think it's a ridiculous take for a reporter to make without any evidence of the of what he's saying, other than he's seen Luka be upset with Rick Carlisle and teammates before. Yeah, he's a superstar. He's going to get upset when Josh Richardson takes a stupid shot. I would be too. Absolutely ridiculous. Do you agree with Brian Windhorst's take? Type A for agree. Type D for disagree. If you're typing A for agree, you're not a true MFFL. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Let's wrap up today's show with a little Olympic roundup for some Dallas Mavericks. A few different guys playing for their countries as the Olympics are just around the corner. Qualifiers going on right now. Speaking of Luka, another solid game in a qualifier game against Angola. They were able to win Slovenia by 50 points in just 17 minutes, 13 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Yeah, Windhorst, no one wants to play with that guy, a guy who's willing to just pass it to just random guys on the Slovenian national team. Luka could take every shot for Slovenia, and no one would argue it yet. He's dishing out 9 assists in 17 minutes. Just another great take by Windhorst. So Slovenia gets that done. They keep it rolling with their Olympic qualifiers. Serbia, Boban, wow, double-double, 25 and 10, 12 of 18 from the floor as Serbia was able to take down the Philippines 83-76. Boban is a great international player because it's slower and it still relies on post-up game. Those are two good things for how Boban plays. And then Dwight Powell in Canada. They take down Greece 97-91. Really efficient game here. I thought Powell finished the regular season and the playoffs strong for Dallas. Kept it rolling here. 12 points, 4-4 from the field, 4-4 from the free throw line as well. I think next year Dwight Powell could be back to the Powell we saw a couple of years ago prior to the Achilles injury. So good for him and the Canadian team. Speaking of Canada, kind of have a sneaky squad. I think they could be the biggest threat to Team USA. So we'll end on this. Which country is going to take gold at the Olympics? Let us know. Obviously, USA or bust. They've got the most talent. The Americans do. Come on, get those USAs in the chat. But hey, if you type Slovenia for Luka, can't really blame you on that one. We'll see you next time here on Dallas Mavericks Today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.